Shadow the Hedgehog. He's literally one of the most popular Sonic characters ever made. Ever since Sonic Adventure 2, he's been a fan favorite and has even gotten his own game. Yeah, we don't talk about that one, but actually, we recently got Shadow Generations, and well, that game was a huge success for many people as they loved everything the game offered you. The story, the gameplay, the new Doom mechanics, and I guess you can include the music, although at first people weren't really a huge fan of it. But putting all that aside, I've actually had this video idea for the past 3 months, and until now I'm finally making it. Wow. Look at that. What triggered this video idea was Shadow Generations, and I still vividly remember that day. Sega dropped the trailer of the Doom powers. People were going crazy as we have never seen anything like that, nor did we expect to see Shadow get some form of new abilities. People just thought that Shadow Gens was going to be another Forza situation where we would just get only 3 levels and that's pretty much it. But it's crazy how everyone was proven wrong with this game and even with these new mechanics and abilities. Brother, when I tell you I felt rizzed up by Shadow, I mean it. When that man gained his Doom abilities, he became something new and it was like we were looking at a different Shadow. So this got me thinking, what happened to his ability that Shadow had back in Sonic 06? And if you're a true Sonic fan, I know you have had this question for the past several years asking yourself, why has Shadow never taken off his inhibitor rings ever again? Has Sega forgot about it? Since that game is pretty much erased, what happened? Did they retcon it? I have no idea, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. So back in 2006, a game called Sonic the Hedgehog was released, and well, there was a villain named Mephiles who Shadow's after, and there was a boss fight against him. Shadow in a cutscene would take off his inhibitor rings to show his full power and take on Mephiles and all of his little clones my man made. Shadow then proceeds to beat this man, and well, little old Mephiles has to run away and escape. So yeah, that's pretty much the short version of what happened. But basically this was the only game that showed when Shadow took off his inhibitor rings and showed his full power. Although he didn't take off the ones from his ankles or legs or whatever that is. And I know people are gonna say, well, he did it in Sonic X and in the movie. Well, yeah, he did, but I'm only talking about the games, and this is literally the only game that has that moment, as not even SA2 shows when Shadow takes off his rings. And it is heavily implied that Shadow did take off his inhibitor rings while fighting against the Bio Lizard with Sonic in the final section of the game. That's why Sonic X took inspiration from that and pretty much, I guess, built upon that and made Shadow take them off there. It's kind of crazy to me to think about this character and all his power that's hidden behind those little rings. Even recently when Sega was promoting Shadow Generations, they made a little funny video explaining who Shadow is, and they even mentioned his inhibitor rings there, even though they did change the name to limiter rings. I don't know why, as that name just doesn't fit at all. It could just be me though. But putting that aside, they literally explained everything about those rings and how they hold back Shadow's full power. So my question is, when are we ever going to see Shadow take those rings off again? I feel like the only time we may see this man take them off would be if there was ever a situation where the world is at stake or something very serious is happening. For all we know, maybe in this next Sonic game, Shadow might be a playable character and he might have his moment to take off his rings to help defeat whatever villain appears. That's me coping, by the way. I feel like this is such a cool feature added to this character, but man, Sega, what are we doing? And this goes for not only him, but many other characters with different abilities. Next year in 2026, it's going to be 20 years since we had seen that peak moment of Shadow being cool and pretty much giving his all. So yeah, please Sega, don't forget about the abilities you give your characters. Please, it's crazy. And I don't mind the Doom powers at all, as it was something different, but I just want to see Shadow get the correct usage of all his abilities. And you may correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even think we have even seen Chaos Blast in any form of media or recent Sonic games, as that's one of Shadow's iconic abilities. And that move came out back in 2005 when his game released. I guess all we can hope for now is that Sega will do justice to Shadow and all these other characters, as they have great movesets and or abilities as well that are hidden. So that's my take on today's video. What do you guys think? Would you guys like to see Shadow take off his inhibitor rings again and show his full power? As I personally feel like Sega is holding him back for no reason. Now I know Sonic is the main character and all of that stuff, but I feel like Sega's kind of giving Sonic too much of like, yeah, he's the main hero, he's the main person, we have to focus all on him and leave these other characters in the sideline and not give them any form of spotlight whatsoever, even though, once again, Shadow did get 2 games, pretty much. But yeah, once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and peace.